So.
All right, so let's try this again. Name, where you're from, why you're here.
Okay, my name is Keri Gorder. I go by Keri. I'm from Great Falls, Montana, and what brought me here is my employer brought to our attention in late July. I was managing a salon there was 4 of us that we were going to have a meeting. I asked what the meeting was about. It was about the union. I proceeded to tell my employees, be aware, it's about the union. They are all kind of freaked out. I said, just do what is best for you and your family. We sat down, watched a video that told us that it would cost hundreds of dollars for union dues. It wasn't good for our business. Bloomingdale's and Macy's went out of business because of unionization, and they weren't going to be fair to us, because if 3 or more people in your salon signed a card, then therefore you were automatically unionized. You didn't have a choice. And after the DVD was done, it was about 7-10 minutes long. She proceeded to tell us a negative story about how her husband was in the union and how they never really defended him. And I stepped up and told my 2 stories of a friend and also a family member who had great experiences in the union. My employee sat there, and she asked them to sign this paper, a right to a secret vote agreement, and they just kind of put it aside. And she's like, what questions do you have? What can I help you with to sign this paper? And they're like, well, we don't want money taken out of our checks without our knowledge, but we also want to see, read this fully. And she's, proceeded to, have a little question and answering with my other 2 employees that were there at that meeting that night. And towards the end of it, the employees all put their papers aside, including myself. And one of the employees asked a question, when does this paper have to be in? She's like, well, I have to have it in by the 8th of August. And she proceeded to say, well, I would do what the company wants you to do, was her last sentence of our meeting. After everything was said and done, this was on a Tuesday. Friday she calls and speaks with my assistant, who wasn't present at that meeting, and asks if she understood everything. And she's like, yeah, I understand everything. And they were asking, or she was asking why, she hadn't signed the paper yet. She's like, well, I still want to get everything, get all the information. She's like, well, I think we need to have another meeting, show you guys the video, and proceed on from there. And my employee, oh no, we watched the video, we understand it, we know everything. I got on the phone and she's like, you need to stay out of this. You need to not say anything. You need to keep your mouth shut and not tell your employees anything. I'm like, not a problem, that's what I've already done. She's like, you need to stop telling them not to sign that paper. I'm like, I never told them not to sign the paper. And then she proceeded to tell me that I had said it at the meeting not to sign the paper. And I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, yes, you did. So I got off the phone with her, asked one of my employees who was present at the meeting, I'm like, did I ever tell you not to sign the paper? And she's like, no. So that was my ultimate decision, to figure out if this paper was either legal or right for my employees. And I also decided that the company was no longer the company for me after this.
So you left.
I left. I gave notice on the 10th of August that I was leaving, and my area supervisor came in and let me go of the 11th. And then I proceeded to go to the union in our city in Great Falls and ask around and see what they had to say. And I talked to a couple people who gave me great information, saying that this paper would not hold up in court. At the bottom of the paragraph of this paper, it said that we nullify our right to, if we signed a card willingly or unwillingly, we nullified that right as long as we worked for that corporation.
So they were basically trying to get you to sign an agreement that said you couldn't
ever form a union as long as we worked for them, yes.
Wow.
And my salon is the only salon, what was my salon is the only salon that has not signed that paper, and still has not signed that paper. So.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
No problem.